So this worksheet is integrated 3 unit circle practice worksheet number 2. So again, on this, what you want to pay attention to and understand is a couple of things. You want to understand all of the coordinates of these points, these special points in quadrant 1, because they're the same in all the other quadrants, but with different signs. So this point here is 1, 0. This point up here is 0, 1. This point here, I think of as long, short. So that's going to be √3 halves, 1 half. This one here in the middle is my √2 halves, √2 halves. And this one here is my short, long. So that is going to be a 1 half, √3 halves. And just so we understand in terms of radians, okay, this is 0 radians here. This one here, I'm just going to write it inside, is pi 6. This one here is pi fourths. And this here represents pi thirds. And up here is pi halves. Okay, just so we can kind of understand that. Now, when I'm dealing with finding sine and cosine or any of the other trig functions, your x coordinate and your y coordinate are going to be your cosine of your angle and your sine of your angle. Okay, so in this case, I want sine, I'm going to find my y coordinate. Now, when I'm dealing with force, 5 pi force going all the way to here, all the way around, let me just kind of draw it, going all the way to here is going to be a full pi or 4 pi force. So if I want to get to 5 pi force, I'm 1/4 beyond, I'm going to be right here. That's where I'm going to be. And the coordinates of this is going to be negative √2 halves, negative √2 halves. That's a negative. Now, if you want to draw a triangle, we can. We would draw a right triangle. I'm going to hold shift starting right here, and I'm going to drag it here. And this again is representing my negative √2 halves for my x, and this is representing my negative √2 halves for my y. I want sine. Sine is my y. So my final answer is going to be negative. Oops, do not want to end highlight. My final answer is going to be negative √2 halves. That is my final answer. That's what my sine of 5 pi force is. On number 2, I'm dealing with negative 5 pi thirds. So if I'm dealing with negative, I'm thinking about doing it this direction, okay? That would be 3 pi thirds. And then I'm going to go continue around. If I went all the way around to here, that would be 6 pi thirds, okay? So this would have been 3 pi thirds. This would have been negative because I'm going backwards. This would have been negative 6 pi thirds. So if I want negative 5 pi thirds, that's going to be this one right here. That's what I want right there. Okay. Now let me just get rid of these. So when I'm looking for this, I want the coordinates of this. And this is going to be short, long. So positive 1 half, √3 halves. Now, I want cosecant. Now, cosecant is the reciprocal of sine. C doesn't go with C, S doesn't go with S. So the reciprocal of this, so let me figure out my sine. So my sine of negative 5 pi thirds is that √3 over 2. So I want the reciprocal of that. So I'm going to take, and I'm going to write it right here. I'll do it here, 2, and I'm going to divide it by root 3. It's the reciprocal. We need to rationalize. I'm going to multiply the bottom by root 3. I'm going to multiply the top by root 3. And when I do, I end up getting 2 root 3 over 3. And that is my answer. 11 pi 6. So again, as I'm going all the way around here, that's 6 pi 6. Going all the way to here would be 12 pi 6. I'm 1/6 short, so I'm going to be right here. That's where I'm going to be. So the coordinates of this is going to be long, comma, short. So it's going to be long, which is root 3/2, comma, short, negative 1/2. And I want cosine. Cosine is my x coordinate. So my answer is root 3 over 2. Done. On number 4, cotangent. So really, I want to find first the tangent of 3 pi 4ths, and then it's going to be the reciprocal of that. So 3 pi 4ths going all the way to here would be 4 pi 4ths. And I'm short by 1/4, which means I'm right there. That's where I'm going to be. And the coordinates of that, my fourths, that's the one where my x and my y coordinates are the same. That's going to be a negative root 2/2, comma, a positive root 2/2. So when I do my tangent, I'm going to take my, let me just jot this down. Tangent of an angle is sine over cosine, or you can think of it as y over x. And my cotangent is the reciprocal of that, which is x over y. So if my, well, and so I'm actually, let's just focus on the cotangent in this case, and I'll do my x over y, okay? So my x is a negative root 2/2 over a, make sure that looks like a negative, over a positive root 2/2, and that is a negative 1. That is my cotangent. For cosine of 7 pi 3rds, okay, now that's going to go around more than once, okay. 3 goes into 7 twice, which is 6, with 1 left over. So I'm really going to go 2 1/3 pi. All of my even pies end up here at the 0. And then I need to go 1/3 beyond that, which means I'm here. That's where I'm at. And the coordinates of that point is going to be short, which is 1/2, comma, long, which is root 3/2. And I want the cosine, which is my x. So my answer is 1/2. On number 6, cosecant, again, C doesn't go with C. So I really need to find sine of 7 pi 6 first, and then the cosecant is going to be the reciprocal of that. So if I'm thinking about 7 pi 6, again, going all the way to here is 6 pi 6. So I need to go 1/6 beyond, which is going to put me right here. And the coordinates of this point is long, comma, short. So it's going to be a negative root 3/2, comma, negative 1/2. Now, my sine of this would be equal to negative 1 over 2. But I want my cosecant, so my cosecant is going to be the reciprocal of that, which is negative 2 over 1, or just plain old negative 2. On number 7, secant, again, S doesn't go with S and C doesn't go with C. So secant, I want cosine. Cosine of 4 pi 3rds, and then I'll take the reciprocal. So 4 pi 3rds going all the way to here is 3 pi 3rds, and I want to go 1/3 beyond that, which means I'm here. And so the coordinates of this short comma long. Okay, so it's going to be a -1/2 comma -√3/2. Cosine is the x, so that's going to be equal to a -1/2. I want the cosecant, the secant, which is going to be the reciprocal of that, or a -2. Tangent of 7 pi force. Now going here is going to be 4 pi force. Going all the way to here would have been 8 pi force. So again, this would have been 4 pi force. So I'm 1/4 short. I'm right there. Okay, I'm 1/4 short. And so the coordinates of that point, +√2/2, comma, -√2/2. So this is going to be my y over x, or sine over cosine. So -√2/2 over +√2/2, and that is just a -1. On number 9, -7 pi 6. So I'm going to go this way. That's going to be -6 pi 6. And I need to go 1/6 beyond, which is going to put me right here. And so that is going to be long comma short. So the coordinates of that, it's going to be a -√3/2, comma, +1/2. Now, I want the cosecant. So let me jot this down at the bottom. C doesn't go with C. So I really want sine of a -7 pi 6 is what I'm going to look at. My sine is 1/2. So that means my cosecant's the reciprocal of that, 2/1 or 2. And that's the end of that. Hopefully this helps you out. Again, we're going to be practicing a lot more of these unit circles in the next couple of days and actually weeks.